he's he doesn't record the song, and I'm like no, bro, like I wanted that, I really wanted that. So we get back in the car, and Nikki's like, I recorded that song, right? I was like, that's the one. Like, bro. I'm like, how did you?
Yeah.
She's like, because I remember, because I would tell her about it. I'd tell her about the experience. And she was like, oh, so I figured you might want that. And I was like, yes, I definitely.
That is true.
Very much wanted that.
Very much so.
And then we put that out, and I put it on the split sheet for the recording engineer, because I was like, we wouldn't have it.
Oh, yeah. Without you,
Yo.
we had no recording.
So, what's up, everybody? Welcome to You Just Freestyled. Today, we have a guest. This is John, artist known as SUPERNOVA, longtime friend, great person, great overall human, you know what I mean? I guess, bro, I wanted the concept of the show to kind of just be like, how we go about fleshing out ideas that come to us.
Okay.
And we're definitely going to talk about music, but I also want to know, like, what goes through your mind when you write a script, or like when you're coming up with the idea or the concept for one even?
A lot of like my ideas for some of the scripts I've written come from like a dream or a daydream. Sometimes I'll just like have a weird image, and then I'll build from that image a story, and then from that story I'll just completely just build, and then I'll end up with, okay, I like this, and now I want to flesh it out more. All right, let's develop this character, let's develop the setting, and then from there I'm like, okay, now I'm here, I'm going. So it's a lot of, it really starts with an image in my head. I see something, and I'm like, oh, I would love to see this played out, and yeah, it starts with an image.
Yeah, no, that's dope. That's like a point, and once again, like, I don't know, I always tell people like to self-study, because I don't know if necessarily everything I'm saying is true, but I feel like a lot of times in freestyle, the image, or like the feeling of, which leads to the image, is what you end up basing or building the freestyle off of. Do you like remember, do you remember when you started building like that? Have you always been inspired by images, just kind of in your, all of your art?
Let me think. I would say so. I think I was the first time I remember writing a script. I was in high school. I was Macintosh, and yeah, and we had a. Well, my mother said I've been writing since I was a kid, but I don't really remember that. But I remember when we had a food fight one year, that senior year, and I got in-school suspension, and like they put me in like a the in-school suspension room has no windows, so you're just like in this cubicle, and it's a lot of graffiti and stuff. And we were seniors, so we had no schoolwork, none of that stuff. So I'm like, all right, what am I gonna do in here for 3 days? I had in-school suspension for 3 days, and I had this journal, and I was like, man. And for some reason, I was like, I'll write a story or something like that. And I've always been a fan of horror films because I was scared of them as a kid, and so I kind of grew an affinity for them because I was scared of them. And I had this image of a caught on camera trailer where this family was camping, and then they heard something in the woods, and they were like, oh, that's weird. And it cuts to nighttime, and they're sleeping in the tent, and they hear something else in the woods. And then it would cut to them checking to see what it is, and then they hear something that's like monsters. And then I was like, and then I saw Sasquatch. And for some reason that made me want to write a Sasquatch story, so I spent the 3 days writing, like actually writing front and back paper, the Sasquatch short film I wrote. It was like 14 pages. I was writing like crazy. So much so that the teacher walked up to me and was like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm trying to write a movie, can you leave me alone? Like, I was trying, because I was like going nuts. And when I finished, I still have it too to this day, it's in my room. It was 14 pages front and back of a Sasquatch horror film. And it was just the first time that I just allowed my ideas and what I'm seeing in my head just to flow onto the pen. And I loved it. I was like, okay, yeah, I love this. But I never realized that it was a passion of mine until college. It was interesting.
Word. I want to come back to where you found it in college. So when you're creating now, do you ever find yourself being able to go back to or remembering that moment of just like the ideas flowing from you whenever, like if you possibly feel stuck, if you have a moment where like, you're wanting to flesh out an idea, do you find that space still?
100%, 100%. I know, like.
Tell me about that, please.
Sometimes the best thing to do is to like take time. Like a lot of times we want to get our ideas out immediately, but when you feel like, oh, there's a block here, I can't get it out. All right, cool. I'll just take time. And when it hits me, it'll hit me. So when in college, my major originally was astrophysics. I wanted to be an astrobiologist, but I don't love math. And science, and that type of math, I mean, that type of science, you need to know math. There's astronomical numbers and stuff like that. And I was just not, like, I like the idea of being an astrophysicist, but I love film. So I was like, I'll take these film electives just to, boost my GPA, because these science classes I'm not doing too well in. And I would be like super early to my film classes, and I would be really late to my science classes. And that's like a telltale sign for me, because I'm always late. Yeah. So for me to be early to these film classes, I was like, oh, I really must care about this subject matter. And the first film class I took was Intro to Screenwriting. And I was like, why does this feel so familiar? And I was like, oh, in high school, when I was in school suspension, I was doing this. I was writing.
Right.
Oh, I was writing scripts. I didn't even know that's what I was doing. I was just doing it because it felt natural to me. And I was like, okay, this is something that I'm passionate about. Because I think a lot of times things we're really good at, we do it so naturally that we don't realize it's a talent of ours. Like, someone will be like, hey man, you're really good at basketball. You're like, I'm just playing. But you're like, no, you're actually like really good. You just crossed up the entire team. Like, no, I'm just playing. Like, no, a lot of times we don't realize or recognize that, I'm super talented at something until it's like past. You know what I mean? So that was me recognizing in college, like, oh, I actually have a passion for writing. It's not like a chore to me.
Right.
And I actually find it kind of therapeutic too as well. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm switching my major to film, and I'll deal with the backlash of my parents. I'm gonna just do this because I love this, and I know if I keep doing it, I'll end up where I want to be and be happy. So that's what I always call back to. It's like, I love it. You know what I mean? And so I don't rush it. I know it's there, so I'll get to it if I need to. And if I can't get to it right now, I'll come back to it.
Bro, that's a lesson. I feel like personally, I'm always like, I wanna get this out right now, and then I'll be like, no, it's not coming, and then I'll like, you might like spiral or something. Like I've been getting better at that. Where I'll just like, all right, I'm gonna go work on something else, and then I'll just see if it comes back. And if it's like a year later, like okay, like I just had some songs that I just started working on, and I was like, I've had these beats for like 2 years now, and then I'm like suddenly like all yesterday, I'm just like getting all these ideas for them. So I totally resonate with that.
Yes.
I think that's perfect. There was a question there that I had of something that you just said. Oh, do you find like when you're writing scripts or even music, do you find like you're speaking yourself back to yourself, like you're kind of figuring out or processing things that you may not have?
100%.
Yeah. What does that feel like for you?
It's surreal. It's like I'm talking to me, but I'm also talking to a different, like Marvel, a variant of me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, wow, I see what you were thinking there. It's really interesting. But it's also like, sometimes, especially with music, I might like say something, a bar, and then I listen back to it, I'm like, why did I say that? And I keep listening. I'm like, oh, because I wanted to structure the flow of the song this way, and now I was thinking 10 steps ahead, and now I just color to that. So yeah, 100%. It's a very surreal thing, but it's a part of the creative process. Sometimes you're going to do things in making music or writing where you're thinking ahead for yourself. So right now it might not make sense for you to make this decision, but when you get to the editing part or you go back to listen to the verse, you're like, oh, okay, I get why I said it this way. Let me change this. You know what I mean? It's like you're preemptively helping yourself, it's surreal. It's definitely surreal. So.
No, that is crazy. Like, I've had moments like that where I'm like, why did I write this bar? And then it makes sense later. Mm-hmm. But I've never thought about it like that. Like, literally setting yourself up to win. In terms of making music, because I know you produce as well as raps, mixes. I feel like you engineer a bit too. Like, do you? Yeah. Bro, what is that process like? Does that also, I know I kind of asked that earlier, but does that also start from an image? Like the
music?
Like, do you start with the instrumental a lot of times, or is it sometimes the lyrics inspire the instrumental, or the instrumental inspires the lyrics?
I really admire people who can write a song and then make the music from it. because music-wise, I have to make the music first, and then I can write to it. I like a lot of the projects I make, because I'm a writer at my core, I need to structure the music to where it's intro, first scene, outro, end scene. And then once I make the music, I can then write easily to it. So for me, it's always music first. And then when it comes to music, whenever I play something and I feel it, okay, then I can build off it. From there, I just build. So it's weird. With music, it's a feeling thing. And then with film or scripts, I have to see it. And I see it, I'm like, okay, I can make this happen. I saw this commercial. It's like that's a Nissan commercial. And it's just an animation of a woman driving down a highway. And the distance is like a huge robot. Like, it's like a futuristic commercial. And that image inspired me to write a movie about like a post-apocalyptic world. Just that image alone, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like, what if I expanded this world? And what would that look like? So, yeah, it's kind of weird how the two worlds I am like inspired differently, but no.
So that brings me an interesting question. When you do a music video, where do you start from expanding that world? Like, is it from the music, or is it from the video, or is it like kind of like they're all feeding into what becomes the overall?
Yeah, I would say it's a music video. Like,
Because it also does his own music video.
Yeah, we saw some videos last summer. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I think that with videos, the completed song will give me an idea of what I wanted to showcase. Like, I did a song for an EP last summer, and Saucer, and it's a song that I wanted to kind of pay homage to like the 70s.
Right.
But obviously I can't sing that well yet, so it doesn't sound that best. But I wanted to do an homage to the 70s with the song. So the video, I was like, okay, I want the video to also be an homage to that era. So I was watching like Bee Gees videos, and I was watching Rock With You. Like, very minimalistic in terms of the amount of movement in the actual video, but they had a lot of effects. Because in their mind, in the 70s, these effects were very futuristic. So I was like, okay, when we shoot the video, I want it to be me kind of, stationary, but the effects around me being very very fluid, but also the grainy of the camera being kind of grainy, so it like feels like an old style or old school video. So yeah, the completed song gives me the image for the video. Like, okay, this is what I'm pulling from the song to make the video.
That's fire.
Really,
That's fire.
It's wild.
Yeah, because I've been wanting to get more into music videos, and like I've been thinking about like just what I do. So I've just been like taking clips of things that like inspire me, and I'm like, maybe I'll just mash these up, or maybe I'll like
100%.
write something from that.
I definitely storyboard everything. Storyboarding is like a way for me to like transcribe what I'm seeing in my head to the screen. So if I can see, okay, Michael Jackson Thriller or this type, I can connect it and how I could do it now in today's time. Okay, cool. So yeah, storyboarding is a great way to do it too. Pull the images from offline and build your video off that. Yeah, 100%. It helps.
It does.
It definitely helps. Because if you keep it all contained in your head, you're just going to explode. You gotta express it somewhere and showcase it somewhere, for sure.
I feel like, yeah, to your point, expressing it, like even just writing, like if you just have one line, like writing it down, it lets you like clear out sort of to like, not that it couldn't all be in there at the same time, but writing something down lets you like have another thought, like clear space for you to kind of free up RAM, I guess, is the idea. Like,
free the RAM.
Free the RAM. Free the RAM. Bro, shared idea for sure. We'll just split it. Free the RAM.
Yeah.
Dude, Supernova. What inspired that name?
Space. I've always loved space. That's astrobiology, all that stuff. And supernova is an exploding star. So this idea of like just a lot of power. And I think today, more so than ever, artists have a lot of power, and most of them don't even recognize the amount of power they have, the influence they have. I think influence itself is actually more powerful than like finance. Like, there are people who are like billionaires who are less influential than insert this artist, because this artist has the ears of this many people. And so I think Supernova is like a connection to the power of a star, an exploding star, and just my affinity for space, I guess.
No, that's fair. Thinking about like I feel like you remember like when we used to send each other tracks like back before like I feel like a lot of those songs were space themed, or like we end up on some sort of like space vibe, and that totally makes sense, bro. Because I really like space, really like time, so it was always like I felt like a perfect fit.
Yes.
And we end up coming up with these crazy bars, dude.
Yeah.
Do you feel like effects in because I make an effort to watch more music videos so I can kind of gain a concept of like the continuity. Do you feel like we're sort of seeing a return to effects being kind of bigger in like minimalistic videos, but the effects are pretty cool, like dance videos, TikTok wave?
100%.
Because I seem to notice that a lot. Like, what's your take on that? Like,
it's very interesting. I think that I'm trying to think about the first minimalistic video that made me feel like there's a lot going on, but there's like really, it's very subtle, whatever it is. But I know, like I'll watch Kendrick Lamar videos. His videos are very like, there's a lot going on, but it's also very minimal, and I don't know how to explain it like that.
I've seen a lot, so actually I totally get what you're saying. Like, there might be like an effect or a theme that's happening, and it's enough to build a world to encompass you, but at the same time, like there's not. It's I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
somehow it's still like you're minimal and you're contained in the world. You're not like going all over the place. He's not taking you like so far out of pocket of where he started you, but there's still effects and things happening.
And then so when I look at TikTok, and TikTok is interesting to me because it's like a new form of sampling. Like kids or people who use TikTok can take the art you made and repurpose it for their joke or their kitchen cooking video, or they could, and it's like, oh wow, it's a new form of sampling that is weird because sampling was looked at as like taboo, as if it wasn't really production. Like, oh, you sampling's not really musical, composing, but now it's like a main aspect of what we do. We'll take a meme. A meme is technically a sample of this art form, and then repurpose for a joke, which is hilarious to me. So yeah, like it's interesting to see the evolution of I think hip hop into culture, and then culture repurposing it for its own self, and then videos becoming derivative of hip hop videos, which is interesting because hip hop was supposed to be like, oh, this genre was not to be here.
Right.
And now it's everywhere. Like air, it's like air. It's everywhere. So it's interesting.
Bro, we were having that conversation about like hip hop and the seeming like inclusion, but also just visibility of it basically everywhere. And I feel like I guess I'm thinking of like the Ice Spice, the deli trend. You know what I mean? Like for the longest time I didn't even realize that was Ice Spice's song.
Yeah,
and I think
we were talking about that.
We were,
yeah.
And I think it was Riot. Riot, her producer, was the guy who made that particular beat. And I was like, yo, it's like this is literally spawned so many memes off of it, and then the memes became other memes, and then it was like we have if you do it, you got to do superheroes, or you're doing dance with your friends, or you're doing so like the song inspired a visual, which inspired memes, which inspired like all of these subcultures of the meme.
Exactly.
But it came from one song, from one idea.
Exactly.
And I think that's so interesting because to your point, a lot of people are like hip hop, like the viability of it being here for a long time, not possible. And then even like the ideas of it, well, it's just encompassed in these worlds of these topics and these themes, but then it like, because nothing in the song necessarily that she's rapping about gives you the incentive or the license to create that, but people were able to interpret that from what she and Riot did on the song, if that's who produced the beat. So I'm like,
it's the power of inspiration,
bro. Yo,
the thing about inspiration is that it's like it's powerful, but you also can't control it. Like I can't control how I inspire you or influence you to do something, but I can create the art that influences you or inspires you, which is really interesting. It's crazy, and that's why so many people want to be influencers, because it's like, oh, I gain a level of power, but I don't think that they're aware of what they're signing up for. You know what I mean? They're more or less like, hey, the money's there, so I want to do this. But it's a lot of power behind influencing people, truthfully influencing people. So yeah, no, it's interesting.
I think wrapping it up because we're hitting the 20. Dude, we hit the 20.
No way.
I'm like, bro. I'm like, yo, this is the first one. first episode, you know what I mean, on the interview series. I just want to make sure I'm doing you right, you know, like you're not like...
We can talk for hours.
Yeah, we really could.
If you want to, we can just chop it up and... No, I'm kidding.
I mean, that's really, bro, what we're about to do. Pillar content, because like, so say we just hit 20, chop this up, make a 1-minute version of it, put our songs on it, throw that out, Content ID catches it, 5-minute version, 7-minute version, a short version, where you can literally just like, and then from this one video, you can make 15 other videos.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, so no, this is literally perfect.
That's awesome.
Oh, we got a question from my wife, Nicole. Let's
Right.
go, Nikki. So you mentioned when you work on music, it's based on feels. Do you find that you write your lyrics based off feels or a specific message you're trying to communicate? Thank you for the question.
Thank you, yeah.
That's a good question.
I feel like I'm a Gemini, so I do both. I always, like sometimes it's like a message. Like I have a song called I Don't Even Care. And the first verse of the song was written or created to be a breakup song. So the first verse is about being broken up with and being so mad you don't care, but you really do care.
Right.
But you're saying, I don't care. But the second verse, I completely went left. And opposed to talking about breakup, I talk about being a star. And so the I don't care aspect of the second verse is I don't care about being a star and trying to save the world. And I say, people want me as a star to use the power I have to help people here and do this for this community, this and that. But then at the same time, this person might hurt the community. Or this person might use the funds I give them to actually do something corrupt. It's like, I don't want to help y'all if you're not going to help yourselves. I don't care. But truthfully, I do care. It's like the hero's plight. Why do I want to save the world if y'all are going to continue to, you know what I mean? And I don't know why I feel like I have a superhero complex where I want to make sure when I have the power to help people, I want to do it. You know what I mean? But I do. I feel like, because I know the things that are going wrong in the world, I want to do something about it. And so that second verse is like, this is supposed to be a breakup song, but I'm talking about world issues now. Now I'm talking about I don't care about the fact that you are tearing up the world. But I do care, but it's just like I'm so frustrated because I want to do well for the world, but I don't want to do well for the world. So I feel like I'm by myself. I don't care.
Yo.
I don't care, but I do care. I do care.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of both. If that's the question. Yeah. Sometimes it's a feeling, and sometimes it's a message. And sometimes they intertwine.
Just building off of each other.
Yeah.
Do you feel like what's the word that I'm looking, or the phrase? When you do good in your own corner of the world, that helps at large, like kind of like a butterfly effect.
Yeah.
If you can do like, just saying hello to somebody might like totally make their day or save them 100%. Or something, like depending on.
100%. And I feel like I physically react to it too. When I do something well, I'll get like chills. I'll get a feeling like, oh, this is like a shot of energy.
Yeah.
It's like, this feels incredible. Just to do something right, and it's not like, oh, I'm doing this for that feeling. It just is the right thing for me to do. I would never I didn't grow up religious, so I never thought of being a good person for the sake of just to go to heaven. I'm a good person because I like goodness. My parents are good people. My friends are good people. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do good by people just because. And I think like every little thing helps, right? 100%. You know what I mean? Like obviously you can't take the burden of the world on by yourself.
Yeah, no.
But if you take some steps and your friends take some steps, and you never know, end up with a whole community taking steps forward. So yeah, 100%.
Yo, no, I totally agree with that. I think like and I've gotten really big into that because I haven't always been like the most. It's crazy when I tell people that, but I haven't always been the most positive person. You know what I mean? Like, so right, bro. So you feel me? So it's like people now have been like recently telling me like, man, you're always really consistent. Like you're always consistently like really positive.
Yeah, I'm saying, he's so positive. He is.
Yo,
that's not facade. That's really him.
No. Right. Because I built that. Like some people will be like, bro, what do you want? Like, what do you take it? And I'm like, no, bro. This is like I attempt to wake up like this. Like and like I know like one of the thoughts I started having like on a consistent basis. What would it be like to wake up happy? What would it be like to like be in a world where my friends are positive and like I'm positive and no one's like still with the ability to to express real emotions, to express feeling, to not feel positive. But like, what would it be like if that was a general day-to-day experience? Like, what would that feel like? And then I was like, how do I find ways to embody that? So no, I really appreciate that, and I agree with you. I think like sometimes you might say hello to somebody or like, and you don't even know that it's like helping them. Like I was telling someone I like to do like really like funny voicemails on like just like ridiculous voicemails on whatever it is. And people will be like, "Yo, I still have your voicemail saved years ago," and I'm like,
That's
they're like,
funny,
right, and I'm like, bro, you never know like what the
so
smallest
true.
thing.
That's so true.
So I feel like that's important that you do that, and I think it's cool that you not for the feeling, but also just the enjoyment of enjoying good things, wanting good things in your life. So you give out what it is you like to receive, and then it's like coming back to you.
Yeah.
Nah, that's powerful. That's actually like really powerful.
I had to learn how to be present. Like I had to learn how to be present in like what I'm feeling. I think, in high school, you want to be cool and all that stuff. So you like, all right, cool. I can express anger and excitement. That's pretty much it. But like being in film, you might get a role as like, I need you to be vulnerable, and then you're like, oh, what does that mean? What does that mean to be vulnerable? And then you're like, okay, how do I unlock this emotion that I had locked for so long? And I was like, okay, I need to be present. All right, so what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this? And then when I was unlocking that, in college and right after college, we had the pandemic, and when the pandemic happened, I was feeling depressed. I was like grinding my teeth and all that stuff in my sleep. It was like crazy anxiety. But because I was unlocking those emotions, I knew something was wrong. I could feel it. I wasn't like, oh, I'm okay. I was like, oh no, something is definitely wrong. I can feel it. And I got a therapist and everything. I was like, okay, I'm feeling this. And she's like, hey, I think you might be dealing with some depression and anxiety. And I was like, cool. Let me look into what I can do. And she was like, well, the first thing is acknowledging. This is something that you're going through, and it's okay. It's a pandemic, right? Everyone's going through something at this point.
Right.
And she made me watch the Pixar movie Inside Out, the recent movie.
Bro, yes.
It's so great.
It's so
great.
good.
It was like, this is a great way to look at emotion. And it's funny because in the movie, the positive joy doesn't want sadness to put the sadness spin on the emotion. But it's like you kind of need that. You kind of need to feel sadness sometimes. You gotta just be present in that. So that way I can wake up happy knowing that, okay, I might be sad right now, but this is momentary. This is like only for this moment. And I'll get back to where I need to be. And yeah, it helps bring that happiness on a daily basis. Like, okay, I'm gonna feel everything. I might feel everything today. But I know that's what it is, and I'm not, I guess disregarding it, or acknowledging it, or stepping into the present. That's like a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this is what I'm feeling. Okay, cool.
Cool. Nah, bro, that's powerful. It took me, that was something I struggled with for a while, like acknowledging it, because they'd be like, no, I'm fine.
I'm cool.
And then,
I'm always broken. I'm cool.
Right. It's literally, bro, blown out of my skin, bro. No, it's mended. It's
all right. Put some dirt on that.
Put some dirt on it.
Yeah,
Rub the alcohol.
Yeah,
Like, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. No, that's huge, because I'm like, I feel like, and that might just be like upbringing, like so many times you're like, suck it up, like just everything's fine, like pretend it's all good, or like deal with it later, or like don't deal with it at all, and then like it doesn't go away necessarily, like in the same way that kind of like keeping an idea in your head, right? And it's like if you just were to express it, expressing it might be that you're just by yourself, you're not with anyone. Exactly. Expressing might be with a therapist, with close friends, with whoever or whatever makes you comfortable enough to be able to acknowledge and experience that feeling if need be, and then move from it. But if it's like if you keep holding on to it, then you're just carrying it with you everywhere, and it's like
it gets heavy.
It becomes so stressful, dude. And then it induces things that cause anxiety, or it induces like moments where you're like, where you just like, I'm fine for the most of the day, and then I have some moment that like triggers that, and it's really not this moment, it's that, and then I've been holding it around, then I like explode, and I'm like, I could have just, I didn't have to go that way, like I could have just. No, I think that's huge. I think that self-care has like definitely been one of the goals for like the past few years, like self-care, checking in, just knowing that like I'm good up here.
I feel like when I turned 28 last year, I was like, okay, I'm sorry, 29 last year. I don't know.
I was about to, hey bro, getting younger, bro.
Exactly right. I was like, for the first time, I felt like I was the age I was supposed to be. Like, okay, I feel 28. I feel like I know I've learned a lot in my 20s, and I know where I want to go, I know where I've been, and I don't know everything, but I know what I need to know. And if I don't know, I'm going to go learn it. And I felt like confident in self. So it was like, okay, I'm aware of my emotions, I'm aware of where I want to be, this, that, and the third. I can express myself a lot better than I used to be able to. Like we're talking about, like growing up, it's just like, I'm okay. You know what I mean? But now it's like, yeah, no. And I see that comfortability that I've developed allow me to have even stronger relationships with like my brothers, my parents too. Like I'm talking to them like we're friends. Like like my mom will call me and she might be upset about something that happened in school, and she can talk to me and I can be like present in that and like I understand. You know what I mean? As opposed to like, hey mom, I gotta go. I'm about to play Madden or something.
You're right. No,
like, no, I'm here. I'm here for you, and it's great. All that stuff is necessary, even in creating, because you can't write a character if you don't know human. You have to know humans. You have to know self. You have to know emotion. If you don't know emotion, how can you write a character? How can you build a world? How can you write a verse if you don't really know anger? How can you write anger in a verse? How can you write love? You have to be present in all that stuff. So yeah, it all goes back, to what we do as creatives.
No, that's fair. That's that reminds me of like a Mac Miller quote where he was talking about, and I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, every song doesn't have to be happy, every song doesn't have to be sad. It's like it's good to have like to acknowledge and to even put an experience to the highs and the lows. Like all my songs don't have to sound the same, and I don't always want to be in the same emotion because sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. But like I'm giving you an experience of me as a human rather than just like painting this character that you think is Mac Miller. Like yes, my rap name is Mac Miller, but I'm also this person who's not Mac Miller. Like, and I'm super paraphrasing. Like he said it way more like elegantly, but like yeah, like to that point.
Mac was definitely very poetic. Rest in peace, Mac Miller.
Right, dude. Rest in peace, bro. Rest in power. Like, great artist, bro. Like,
yeah.
Bro, I was, man. I remember where I was, bro. Like, that's how much it was, like, for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't even I was doing this photography apprenticeship, and we were right over in Midtown, dude. Like, there's this coffee shop called Urban Grind. We're like the streets behind it, in these apartments and or like townhouses, and Nathan Piercy, shout out Nathan Piercy. Yeah, dude. Fire.
He used to be on was it iCarly? Wasn't it iCarly?
Oh no, that's Nathan Pearson.
Oh
yeah. No, Nathan Pearson's fire too.
Yeah.
Went to our high school. Nathan Pearson went to our high school.
Yeah.
Bro, shout out. I feel like so many kids out of McIntosh have literally done stuff, bro. Like, and I think that's actually really inspiring for what we're gonna do going on forward. 100%. I actually really take pride in like what we've done as like a graduating class and just as a school. Yeah. But I was chilling at his studio, and I was upstairs. I just gotten some food from not Mr. Fuji's is Peachtree City. Oh, dude, I'll have to give you the name of that restaurant. There's this fire restaurant on Midtown. They do like not just Japanese, but Asian fusion, and then inspired food. Where is that? Oh my god, I'm gonna remember it. But I was eating something from there. I was chilling upstairs. I was sitting on this couch next to the wall, on the back wall, and somebody walks upstairs. They're like, "Yo, does anybody know who Mac Miller is? He just died apparently." And I'm like, "Bro, chill. Like that's not even funny. Don't say that." And he's like, "No, I'm serious." And like, he hands me the phone, and I'm reading the article, and I'm like,
"Yeah."
I just hand it back to him, like, "Bro, I don't even want to.
Exactly.
I don't even like." Yeah, man.
It's heavy, especially like this artist was genuine. You know that their art was truly pure. You know what I mean? That is definitely a blow to the stomach.
Right. Yeah, I used so many of his projects, Faces, like in particular, like, and I was like, when I was going through like a really tough time, I'd just be like I feel like he had put to music so many emotions that I was feeling and things I didn't really have like words for at the time, and I'd be like, yo, like he's saying it, he's saying what I'm feeling, or like it'd be in the music, it wouldn't even be the words, it'd just be like this instrumental is how I feel right now, like, and I was like, bro, how do you? And I can kind of see it, like, not that I know him as a person, but like looking at his interviews and stuff, and the way he talked about like wanting to give you an experience of emotions, I can kind of see like where and how he was able to reach that stuff, even if it wasn't intentional.
I think it's crazy that some people try to put artists in a box, like you have to continue to make this type of song. That's actually like wild. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a complex human being with a complex amount of emotions and feel, yeah. I'm not about to just give you the same song over again. Over and over again.
We're not.
No, I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah, I'm getting better at not like making sure I listen before I like.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Dude,
you're good.
Dude, I appreciate it. Like, I just want to get like really good at conversation again this year. I feel like that happens with Andre. Like, that's been happening because it's like everyone's like, bro, why don't you rap more? Like, why don't you rap more?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, he's one of the best rappers ever. Like,
Ever.
what if he wants to make flute instrumentals? If he wants to make flute
Fire, by the way.
Right, bro.
Absolute fire.
Fire. Oh my! And I'm listening to this, and I'm like, bro, y'all want him to keep rapping. And then the first track was like something like, I really wanted to put out a rap album, but this is where it took me. This is where I was like,
what? Come listen to the bars.
The meta titles, bro. The meta titles. Have you seen that video of it's Yasin Bey rapping over
MF Doom?
No, Yasin Bey, Mos Def. Rapping over one of the instrumentals from the Flute
no, I did
Project.
not see that.
Bro,
I saw some video he was rapping over MF Doom tracks recently. But, wow.
I'll look up that. Yeah, we'll send you that. Nikki was actually the one that showed me that.
Yasin Bey is cold.
Bro, crazy
Always
fire.
been cold.
Crazy fire. I love it. There's still, I think it's like a Little Durk song. I'll send you that too when I find it. And it's like a remix of like one of his songs, and like he comes in with like it's like he's doing gun bars, but he's doing the he's playing off the words, so like 2 9s, 4 5 6, and it's like he does it the whole, and I'm like, bro, how do you, like, I've never heard anyone do that. Like, how do you just getting like, so bro, what do you like, because we were talking about inspiration, do you find like you've been inspired by something and like you don't realize that that's what inspired it till like years later, or until you're like in another moment?
I would say yes. I also would say my inspirations are very present. So if something inspires me, I probably am about to do something with that more so like now.
Right.
I won't sit on it. So if I'm inspired by, if you wear something that's really cool, I'm about to go find out how to make my style myself and do it that way, like that. I'm very like, okay, I had this dream, now I'm going to do it. Or I heard this. After listening to the song, and then listen to this, like, you know what I mean? I'm very quick with it. But when I was a kid, growing up in Illinois, we listened to a lot of, Kanye, Twista, Common, Lupe Fiasco, all that stuff. And at the time, when I was a kid, Kanye was making a lot of soul samples, and his drums were very heavy. So now when I produce, my drums are heavy because I listen to a lot of soul, a lot of Kanye production. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can see that. Also, listening to Pharrell and stuff, I like weird sounds too. So I'm like, okay, I'll take these, interesting synthesizers or, snare hits. And so yes and no at the same time. Yeah, it's crazy how inspiration kind of hits you like a boomerang. It'll go past you and then hit you later on.
Literally.
Yeah.
I think that's I've been working on doing more of what you're talking about. Like, if I have the feeling or the idea, like, oh, that'd be a cool mix, or like if I put these two songs together, like that clothing, like I'll write it down and then I'll at least attempt to start on it. You know what I mean? Like, start on it. So it's not.
I've probably forgotten so many bars that I probably should have just wrote them down, but I didn't do it. I was like, I'll remember it later. And then I'm like, what was it? Yeah, it's so annoying.
Bro, this is and I'm practicing it because I feel like if it's like building a habit, and I'd have to remember exactly what video I got it from. But there's like this trick that some people will do, and they'll be like, they'll just tell their brain like, yo, remind me later when I have time to write this down, or like when because like a lot of times it might come up like when you're not thinking about anything. You're in a relaxed state in the shower, you're driving with people that you like, you love and care about, and you're just like, you're not even thinking about it, and then it hits you, but you're not able to, or you're not feeling like, yo, I not right now. So like you go and you tell your brain, like, and it's actually been working. Like, of course, still practicing and getting it, like, but
like anything,
yeah, but just like, yo, bring this idea back to me later, please. And like,
please.
I'll write it down.
This is great, yeah.
Because we were on the way back from we just visited some family in Florida, and we stopped halfway in was that Dahlonega? the Lanaga that we went to drop off King, where we met Chastity at.
No. It started with a C.
It was C something. Oh, it'll come back to me. But we drove to meet halfway to drop our grandson off to his mom so that we could see everybody and then head back to the house. And on the way to this rest stop, we were about to pass this rest stop, and I was like, "Yo, do you need to go to the bathroom?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "All right, I'm about to pull over." And then I had these bars that were going through my head while we were driving. I'm like, "Yo, just let me get somewhere where I can stop, and then I'll put them down." I had I actually had this little notebook in my pocket, bro. I started carrying it, and I was like, "Yo, for real!" And I was like,
God, that's a good idea.
And I wrote them in someone in the car, and then I'm walking into the bathroom. I write them. I'm like, "Yo, that's crazy!" I wrote a whole little verse.
See, that's inspiration because I'm about to start doing that. Because if it's on my phone, I don't feel like typing it out. So if I'm compelled to write it out, then I'll do it. It's gonna sound corny. I'll write jazz poems.
Yeah.
So I'll be at work and I'll have a poem in my head for jazz, but I won't write it out. But if I have a book, I'll write it out and then I'll have it for her. It's small stuff. It's small stuff.
Bro, I'm telling you. And I got this, I don't even know what it is, in the last, maybe it's just, school, and you're, kind of going back to things that, the whole idea of, note-taking, right? And, if I have notes I can reference, because, of course, after a while, habit, you'll remember it'll be in your mind, it's something you can pull up. This guy is so cute.
My dog's over here.
I wish, hold on, I wonder.
There we go.
Nico.
Scrappy Doo.
Nico. So cute, bro. Literally so cute.
I have to give you a bath, Scrappy Doo.
And intelligent. This guy. Taking notes, just having the ability to reference back to something, or being able to in that moment, because say you're not able to, or you don't want to unlock your phone, or your phone's off, I can still write in this notepad, and then I can just and it's if we're talking about habit, I grew up writing in a notepad before I ever had a phone. Before I ever typed in my first note in the phone.
That's so true.
Right?
Definitely write my first rhymes in a notepad. That's
Right.
100% true.
So I'm it's just bringing back that feeling of oh, okay, I can just, and then I'll get back to it whenever. I might digitize it still.
Yeah.
But
You remember the first time you ever rapped with your friends?
Dude, yes, actually I do. At least so it was Georgia Military College, 2012. I don't know what it was, but I suddenly developed an interest in I was yo, I really I've always right, bars. The bars. I just suddenly wanted the bar. Bro, facts. And I was yo, I really want to make music. I really want, and that's actually the same year that ended up starting doing poetry, which is where Nikki and I met at the Java Monkey. So there was this group of people who always rapped. You remember Frank Brown?
Yes.
All right, so yo, Frank.
Of course, yeah.
Right. So we also went to we both went to Georgia Military College, and I think it was this. Shout out Frank Brown.
Yeah.
Facts, big facts. I'd done this poem rap thing that I recorded on my phone. And I sent it to Frank, and I was like, "Yo, bro, do you think I could be a rapper? Would you want to make songs?" And he sent me back this text, and he's like, "LOL, of course." And in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, is he laughing? Is it not good enough? Is it yeah?" And I was like, "What's the laughter for?" Mm-hmm. And I realized he was just like, "No, bro, you're fine. You got it."
Yeah.
So he's like, there's a group of people. It was it was a set of twins, and a few other folks, and we all get together and we just rap in the courtyard or in the community building and stuff. If you want to and I would go, bro, and I'd be I started to say a bar. I can even kind of remember the first bar that it was sitting on the throne, Nike checks on my feet. It was something like that, and I was okay, I don't want to say that. I already had an idea of how I wanted to rap. So I don't want to say this. I don't want to say that. I'm not rapping about guns right now. You know what I mean? Or if I do, I want it to be artistic. So I'm not gonna say that. And I would get so caught up, dude, on what it is I was attempting to to do that it
process. Yeah.
Right, that it would be it would be so strained, just trying to get the first lines out.
Mm-hmm.
But then we would shout out Sasha O'Haron, you know what I mean? Bro, Peachtree City, bro, back in time, bro. We would rap on his back porch, and it got to the point where I would just put type beats on the phone, and I would just stuff, and I would just rap, and I would just keep rapping, bro, to the point people were like, "Bro, are you not done rapping?" I'd be I'd just be in the corner by myself, just rapping. But it started with that awkwardness of being oh, I want to be this, but I'm not able to. It seems get it out in the moment. What about you? Do you
Yeah, same thing. It was Probably around, I started making beats probably around like 8th grade. But I started writing probably like freshman year, sophomore year. And I was in Illinois, I had a couple of friends who my brother's age and they would rap. So I would go hang out with them and we rap on like waiting for the bus. Or we get off the bus and we rap on the corner. And it would be so fun just to freestyle. Because like we all knew we were just kinda like we're all like sharpening our swords. You know what I mean? Like we knew we weren't where we wanted to be, but by doing this it was like helping us, okay, I get it. Oh, I like that how you did that. I like that flow or that delivery. And that led me to, I want to write. And then it was also the music I was listening to too. Like in the 2012, 2011 era, there was a lot of clicks. There was Young Money, there was good music, there was Odd Futures on the scene, there's a lot of clicks. So I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want my own collective of friends where we can all rap together and stuff like that. And so yeah, I definitely remember that. And I definitely remember too recording and having these bars I want to say, and I would go recording them. No voice. Like, I was like, oh, what happened? I wrote it in all caps, but I'm going. I was like, oh, there's another process to this that I have not even realized. Like, you can write it out perfectly and then go to execute and be like, oh. And then it's hearing your voice too, because I hear my voice with the rhythm of my heart. Now I'm hearing my voice with just the sound, and I'm like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Dude. All that stuff is all part of the process, man. It's all part of the process. But yeah, I definitely remember that. It's so crazy.
Literally.
I remember Justice used to rap, and I wanted to rap battle him so bad, but he didn't want to rap battle. I was like, okay, man.
Bro. Yo, what is Justice's last name?
McCoy, I think.
I want to say Justice, if we got your last name wrong.
Sorry, Judge.
But the Judge, but
The
dude,
Judge.
I still have your mixtape, bro. I know it's like I need to go find it, and that's crazy because I literally would listen to his mixtape on repeat, dude. I was like, to your point, I was like, I wanna rap, and then I remember Justice dropping that mixtape, bro, and I'm like, yo, he's doing, because he was Marco Colonna, shout out
Shout out to
Colonna.
Marco, yeah.
He was producing.
Yo, we had some really creative people. And Macintosh, JC Booth, it's kind of crazy if you think about it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm like. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of us got back together at some point, dude, and just started.
Even like outside of music, fashion, there's a kid, Jake Battaglia. I'm sorry, Jake. Well, Jake Battaglia, I think is his name. Before skinny jeans was a thing, he would wear his sister's jeans and skateboard, and we thought it was so weird. And then skinny jeans became huge, and people were doing the. But he was so ahead of fashion, and he didn't care that people were like making fun of him for wearing his sister's jeans. Like, yo, I'm a skater. Like, I don't care. And I was like, that's crazy. That's like fearlessness to just, I'm gonna just do this. We had a lot of creative kids,
Bro.
All types of art forms.
Literally. Like, the more I think about it, like, that was kind of like, I don't know, it had like a Renaissance feel to it. Like, you go meet up with people, and it's like, yo, he's already ahead of the fashion. Jake's already ahead of the fashion.
He just do what he wants to do. And he was even trying to like push fashion. I'm wearing this, I'm comfortable in this. I don't have a problem with wearing this.
Right.
I'm not trying to call this is what I'm wearing. I think that's very free, you know, and it was cool. It was cool. I didn't do it, but it was cool.
No, that's like, I was just talking about that with John last night. We put a link to his SoundCloud project. I got to check it out.
Shout out to Johnny. I think this is right.
Hot Boy Johnny. But I was telling him that freedom that he had, like, in the project, like we were talking about last night. I was like, bro, that's so important, because I feel like at some point, like you go from, all right, I'm not afraid to freestyle anymore. I know I can rap, but then you might have like these subconscious or these unconscious ideas of like what you should rap like, or like all of these like, well, a triplet flow sounds like this, or like a 16 bar pattern should sound like this, and like you kind of start locking yourself, possibly unconsciously. It might not happen to everyone, which is not a bad thing, even if it does happen to you. But you're like, you might get stagnant or like set in your ways, because you're like, this is how I have to sound every time I freestyle. Or like, exactly. I at least need this feeling, even if the themes and like the words and like the patterns change. I need it to feel like this at the end of it, and then it's like that can stop you from like having that moment of freedom where you're like, yo, this just feels good. This
exactly.
Whether I put it out, whether I make money off of it, whether I, like this, what I'm doing right now just feels good. And like that's what got me into freestyle in the first place. Like that's what got me into music. Like this just makes sense. Like, and this just feels good.
It's interesting because if I produce a song or produce something, I'll just let it play. and I'll let the music tell me what the hook's gonna be. I'll let the music tell me like, oh, this is the first bar, and then from there, like I just completely just, okay, what am I hearing? Oh, I'm hearing this. Okay, cool. And then from there I'll build. But I'm not gonna go into it with this. I'll let the music just tell me. And like you said, it's very free just to let it. It's like I'm floating over the music. And then I'm pulled this way. Okay, cool. We'll go this direction. You know what I mean? And it feels less like you feel less strife. It just feels free. And so yeah, I agree with you, man. 100%. Just be free flowing. And it's incredible that John feels that way.
Yeah.
First project, like.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what I was telling him, bro. I'm like, bro, you don't. That's what I was literally, because he was be like,
My first project. Like that's crazy. He's confident to the point where he's doing different flows.
different ideas, different personas. No sound, no song on the project sounds the same as any other song. Like, no, and that's like. And like it fits, like it all just like it's like no, you can literally tell that you're just having fun, and like not outside of the music being fire, outside of the production being great, like you're just having fun, and like that's so much more important to me at this point than like even a perfect song, so to speak, because like someone might register more with the song with like, well, I could just tell this person was enjoying it more than they register with like, this song is perfect in every way that I need it to be.
Exactly.
It's like, and then you might think. The fact that they're having fun in the song is what makes it perfect for the person that's listening to it. Like, so now I was telling them that, bro. I was like, the songs are fire, everything you're doing is great. Like, just keep that feeling. Like, don't ever, whatever songs you make, whatever feeling you have. Like, if you're like, yo, this feels good to me, and you want to put it out, put it out. Like, if you want to keep it. But like, that feeling is so important.
100%. That's man. People still struggle with that today. Like not professionals, but people who are like major label signed artists still deal with the idea of like it has to be perfect, as opposed to like this just feels right. Put it out. You know what I mean? And more than likely will receive better if you just do what you feel like it feels right, as opposed to it has to be perfect. I still do that myself. I think it's because I have too many hands in the pot as a producer, writer, and I'm like, all right, just let it be. You know. The thing about like creating art is like you never really know when it's done. Because you can always see a part where you can edit it more. Like, oh, I can revise this script. Oh, I can rewrite this better. But really, there's got to be a point where you go, okay, that's enough. All right, let it go, John.
Yeah.
Let it go, John.
Nah, to your point. Like that's like how we were saying earlier about you're never sure how someone will be inspired or receive your art. And also at that same point, like you get so in your head about like, okay, I'm gonna edit this, I'm gonna re-edit it, that you never even get it out for people to like perceive or even like get a chance to experience or which then it's like it's sitting on your hard drive and you're just like, bro, I should have put this out like
10 years ago.
Right, like you're literally. So no, I totally agree with you. Like I think like the thing I'll tell myself now is like I'll just put it out and then like I'll come back to it like if that's really what it is. But at least it's already out so that people can experience this. And I can like whenever come back and like, you know what I mean?
And you know, I look at certain artists who, let's say like 10 years ago when Our Future first came out and their first songs, to where, I mean, I'll say Tyler specifically, his first few songs, I could hear in like a song he had called Radicals, the chorus was like some crazy, you know, lyrics that would probably get canceled today. But then he would have a bridge where he had these like horns playing and he'd be talking over the horns. And I was like, oh, just in now I'm like, okay, there's jazz in his background. And now you fast forward to where he is now, you hear all these different chord progressions and stuff like that. And I was like, he was building towards that. But if he had just sat on that until he got to here, then we would know who he is. You gotta just put it out there and just, you know, build through it. You know, yeah. So I agree with you, man. You gotta put it out there. If you sit on it, you'll just be in purgatory, artistic purgatory, just chilling.
Fair.
Put it out there.
Fair. There's like a Roddy Ricch has a story like that. I think it's his first. I want to say it's his first mixtape, but he's like it's 8 songs. And he's like all I actually had were those 8 songs. But he's like I feel like if I didn't put out those 8 songs, I never would have gotten to the box. I never would have gotten more songs because I never just took what any.
God, the box was crazy. What song was that?
Bro, that was 20.
You couldn't turn on the radio without hearing this song,
bro.
Everywhere,
and it's crazy because he talks about being in the studio, bro, and he's like, I just sat down and I started doing that, and everyone's in the studio and they're looking at me because that wasn't the original part of the song. That's him.
That's
him.
him.
No, that's him. And he's like, yeah, so I'm in the studio and like and I was watching an interview with him, so of course he might say, I'm paraphrasing, but like it's like I sat down, I just started doing it, and like he's like the producer, the engineer, and like people like kind of look at him and they're like, he's like, no, it's gonna make sense, like it's gonna make sense, and then of course it became what it became, but no, that was him, like literally the freedom to be like, I have an idea, I don't care all the other stuff that's been around, I'm gonna do this.
Man, that's
like,
powerful. That's
crazy. Yeah. What are your 2024 goals for your music, your art, just like in general?
Put it out for sure.
Literally.
I got like 2 tapes produced and written to. It's just about recording them and let's put them out. You know what I mean? And then for the scripts is, let's make them into movies. Let's get these movies going too. I just want to showcase artistry this year. And continue showcasing artistry. I feel like we've been working, you know what I mean? Like we've been creative. So it's like, all right, let's show what we've been doing. This is the year I turned 30, so it's like I used my 20s to refine everything. And now it's time to showcase what we've been working on. So yeah, let's put out some art. That's the biggest goal, is put out some art. I can't wait to put out this tape, the Nebula tape. That's the first tape. I think that it's a love story. It's about a guy who takes hip hop into space. And they go on a date in space, essentially, and it's romantic, and I think that it's going to be very interesting. I'm trying, like, even when I write films, it's the same way with music. I'm trying not to make genre music anymore, because genre can be containing or constricted. So it's like, yeah, I can rap, and I'm working on singing, working on that. But it's like, I don't want to be limited to just this. Sometimes I feel like rock and roll. Sometimes I feel like this and that. So it's like, forget genre. I think I just want to make art, and what it feels like to you is what it feels like to you. And so I'm not saying it's a rap mixtape. It's just a tape of music, and whatever if you pull from it, you pull from it. But I'm not going to focus on it having to be like this or having something like that. It's just going to feel real. I want you to feel it. And so that's the big thing for the music. And same thing with film too. I don't want to write genre films, because genre films can get kind of tropey, where it's like, if the young woman is running away from the killer, she looks back, what's going to happen? Oh, she trips. Like, we know what happens in that story. You know what I mean? We know.
What are you tripping
over?
What are you falling over?
I'm going to write films that are real. Our lives are comedies, horror, and romantic in the same day. So I'm not going to just do a horror. You know what I mean? Like, we go through all these different types of experiences in one moment, at times. So it's like, I think it's time to evolve the idea of art in general, film, music. I think the future of music is genreless anyway. That's why I hear when I hear John. It's like, or even when I listen to when I listen to Travis Scott, I don't categorize. They'll say, oh, he's hip hop, but I feel like no. I think he's expanding just sound in general. I think that category is old school. There's nothing wrong with old school, but it's like, I think the new generation, especially when I look at TikTok and how they repurpose songs, they don't really care about categories. Like, oh, I like the way this song feels, and I can now repurpose this for my world. And from there, it changes from this is hip hop. Now this is just my soundtrack, which is interesting too. So I don't know. Yeah, that's the wave I'm on. What about you, 2024? What are you thinking?
Dude.
What's the goals?
We were writing down goals today. Actually, we were doing goals. Bro, I want to put out at least want to put out these 4 projects. 4 12-track projects. One I want is like a few instrumentals I've been sitting on for a while. I definitely want to get the stuff that we've been working on. So those are also like on that on the side of those 12-track projects. I want to put out all the instrumentals from whatever that 12-track project is like a separate thing for like so people can listen to them, sing along, and then for the monetary purposes of it. I want to produce a 12-track thing off of like found sounds and stuff like that, effects and all that.
Yeah.
And then I want to do a 12-track poetry project because I've been poetry is like actually what like first got like all the streams and stuff going. It was the poems, ironically enough, on the playlist.
I
right,
that, man.
Bro.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's fire.
Thank you.
I'm in my car like, RJ's here? Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, got it.
Stop.
Yeah, I still have that, bro.
Yo, crazy.
Bro, like, okay, so even, cause that was actually the first poem that I ever put out. That was like 2019.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
So like, I'd be at, talking about like, ideas in community, right? Like, the Java Monkey poetry community, the Urban Grind, just like the Atlanta poetry community. I wrote that poem and I go out and I perform it and someone would be like books are really big in the poetry community. But for me, I knew in that moment, like I wasn't in the place to put out a book.
Right,
like just like artistically, like, I just wasn't in that space, but I was like, I want something that could be like printed endlessly like a book. And I was like, oh, music, like streaming. So someone was like, yo, you know, or multiple people would be like, yo, if that was online, I would listen to that. So I was like, yo, bet I'm gonna put this on streaming. And that's what inspired me to start doing that. So there's this website called Submit Hub. Shout out Submit Hub, submithub.com, and you can submit poems and music. And actually for a long time it was just music. Like no one was specifically looking for poems. Shout out Shona Oliver. Shona Oliver in the UK put some of my poems and some of Nikki's poems on this playlist. And they started getting views in all these different places, and that's what like kicked off all of that whole part of it. And I was like, yo, that's so great, because people come back and buy the music.
It's great how it could be someone's like something small, like someone just putting you in a playlist could expand the viewership or the listenership of what you've done. Yeah, it's good.
Literally. So like it's putting out those projects, getting more comfortable with producing, getting more comfortable with pursuing an idea when it comes to me, even if I don't finish it right then, like being okay with like just starting it and like, all right, I need to maybe set it or what. And then more collaborations, dude. I really like, kind of like what we're doing right now. I really want to make like a village of collaborations where like, so say like, you know, the same way this video will be paying us, like things like that happening all the time, just with tons of people that we collaborate with. So like that way, like, you know, come the end of this year, like we just have tons of things that are working in our favor. You know what I mean? Like
multiple,
we
what's it called? Multiple streams of revenue or something?
yeah, multiple streams of income, like passive income. Multiple streams of income.
There we go.
Like literally that, and like that's like those are like my overarching goals, and like in that like I'll be doing more stuff. I actually want to get into some y'all were sharing about a show that you and Jazz had come up with. There's a musical that some of my friends came up with at in 2022 about tech workers working background.
Oh,
like,
wow.
It's called and I thought that was interesting, like kind of like how skating, like most people had the idea for skating, like it's called Tech, a working title, but it's like just about technicians working at a theater and how like they're not necessarily appreciated. And we had like songs and stuff that we had like drawn up for it, like.
And those are stories people want to see. You know what I mean? These people, the people who don't get the spotlight. Like obviously your actors get the spotlight, your directors, but the tech is the foundation to all that. You don't have tech, everyone's falling through the stage.
Everyone's dropping, dude. Everyone's
so yeah,
gone.
we want to see those stories 100%.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
that's great.
Yeah.
2024 is looking up, man. I definitely feel creative. I feel ready to, you know, step up and showcase everything. And I'm ready to be 32.
Yeah.
20's been a long time. I've been 20 for a long time, man. 9 years of 20. It's like, all right, let's go to 30, man.
9 years of 20. Let's go. Facts, bro. I'm also 29 as of last year, so this will be my 30th year too. So it's gonna be interesting. Like I'm excited.
I'm done counting up to 30 though. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. I don't even count anymore, man. Like it's funny because I'll be like, when I teach, like my kids were like, they're like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 29. They're like, I thought you were 19. Like when I first met you, I thought it's like I realized, bro, it's a mindset.
It is.
Bro.
It
It's
really
really
is.
like a
It really
mindset.
is.
Like it's like, all right, yeah, like I'm like, and that happens in science too. They'll be like, yeah, you're like chronologically 50, but your body's like 25. And it's like, so you're just telling me, as long as I'm like where I'm wanting to be, I'll be that age. Like I'll be the age I am.
My mind healthy, my body healthy. I'll be where I want to be.
Yeah, I'll be where I want to be.
That sounds doable.
right. Like that sounds
accomplish
achievable.
that, yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
Are there any social media links or like
I haven't really reactivated my artist page yet. I will though, but I'm very like street artist when it comes to my music. So it's like graffiti style. I'll just spray paint on the internet and then you'll see it. And if you see it, then you see it. If you don't see it, then you won't.
I like that.
I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm not the person who could like go up and like rap to Jay-Z. If I saw Jay-Z, I'd be like, oh hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
But I feel as though if
he's supposed to know I'm an artist, he'll know because he'll see it eventually.
Right.
So I don't. I feel like in this era, there's a lot of marketing, like market, and I don't know. I like the artist. I'm an artist who's like, oh, hey, this is here. Like an art gallery, this is here. You can look at it, but I'm not gonna just, listen. No, I'm not gonna do that. So you'll find me if you find me, and if you don't, it's okay.
Fair. Super fair. Bro, that's been John, Supernova, great friend. Yo, bro, thank you for
Overall,
this.
great human being.
Bro, overall great human being. Yo, from one to another. Bro, thank you. First episode of the interview series of You Just Freestyled. It's been Rondald Owens. It's been John. Bro, thank y'all very much. Peace out.
I used the different words apparently. The frequency is stored in intent, not actually in the, tent of. So I had to build a different one. They said I probably should not store this, but if the smoke is rising out of the catacomb of the, catacomb that I've set up, isn't that a square, the corner of my world that I should check when I am getting back near? They said, nah, not here. The blocks are, appearing, but not the R of revolution. They don't roll, they're more the substitution of the grid system. We like those with the diamond point. If you could anoint us with a better, understanding of those that be a joint, like a, shoulder and a, arm muscle, kneecap, bone cap, the thing that they talk about, the polar cap. I guess that'd be the polar opposite of that, but I didn't lay it. When it was a layer, I tried to layer it and figure out if it was the Bat Cave. I'm afraid the Alfredo wasn't served by Alfred that day, but it wasn't even Fred Flintstones, so they probably should have read. We had those two, and he probably should have read. That's Barney. Why would you even want to put me in this barn if I didn't want the straw? I was looking for that kicking out the mat. All didn't want to break the camel's back, so I said I would leave. They didn't want to laugh, so I read myself into a what's that, a lackadaisical, feeling like I'm praising myself as appraisal. Though I'm not rolling off the ladder, being devalued by the fact that I roll around you. So I guess my gravitational is full field feels kinda real, that's real. And I'm chilling with Ted, you know. We're not generic, I guess I know. But what's good with ghosts? Going here like gas to ghost. Nah, that'd be Adult Swim. Had to get out the water with them. Stuck to me though, like the idea of. Never got lost in the idea of hugs or the dove. Bench was nice, but not on that like a Nordic night. That would be for no hammer in sight. Thunder and lightning, I might add. My bad. Didn't get mad. Ooh, which I.
Yes, C word.
This is gonna wind up